Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so it is possible I will stumble over my words moving forwards. And as always, apologies for the quality of this video. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it isn't too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, specifically a Junior Eurovision related video here on my channel, which is something I've rarely said in the past, but you know, there's a first time for everything. Today I am going to be doing a what we know so far about the junior edition of the ESC, which this year will take place in just over 2 months' time on November the 26th at the Palais Nicaea in Nice in France. Ooh, very nice as well. As always, you're very welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below. That's always nice to see. And as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So, Junior Eurovision. Here's a question for you right off the bat. Do you actually give a damn about the JESC? Now, the reason I say that is because you might be like me. I am 30 years old. I am clearly not the target audience for Junior Eurovision. It's been a long time since I was the target audience. But it is still a Eurovision-related event. It is still a pretty big deal, and I do still care about it. But my enthusiasm for it, even when I was younger, wasn't particularly high. Just before I get into the 2023 edition of this show, in terms of my history of it, I don't really recall the very first contest, but it was on TV here in the UK and I must have watched it. And it's interesting that 2003 was the year in which I first became aware of the adult competition as well, as I've said many times on this channel. But yes, Junior Eurovision 2003 was in Copenhagen. The UK were in it. It was on British TV. I must have seen some of it. 2004 was in Norway, and I specifically remember the Dutch entry, which involved 2 girls blowing whistles for 3 minutes. And the 2005 contest in Belgium, I remember the Danish entry, Shake, Shake, Shake by Nikolai. That is specifically stuck in my head. I remember watching that on television in my living room. All these years later, the UK obviously came back last year, so it is on British television again, which is great. And arguably, Junior Eurovision has never been more popular. There was a lull, maybe about a decade ago, in which a lot of countries weren't taking part, and you may recall that Kyiv-staged competition, which I think was about 10 years ago, which didn't really feel like anything Eurovision-related whatsoever. It was in a fairly compact concert hall. But now, it's a much slicker, larger, more pristine-looking event. But still, does anybody really care about it? Certainly people my age and older. Okay, if you're a journalist and you have to write about it, I get it. But otherwise, is there a whole lot of interest there? A lot of Eurovision-related YouTubers don't really make that many videos about Junior Eurovision. People on Instagram who have Eurovision-related Instagram accounts, they don't necessarily put a lot up about Junior Eurovision. And in terms of following the national finals that there are for the Junior competition as well, I don't think there's that much attention surrounding them either. Now, why is that? I don't know. Maybe the quality isn't that high. Maybe as adults we don't really care. I don't know, but I'm interested to know your thoughts. Nevertheless, it is still something that I pay attention to. And obviously, for many years, like I just said, the UK weren't involved. We withdrew, and we didn't take part again until last year with Freya Sky. So my only knowledge of who won and the results and things like that was by looking at Wikipedia or something on the day of the final. And then live streams came along and I did pay attention to them, but still, my enthusiasm wasn't particularly enormous. It still isn't, but I still care to some extent. Anyway, let's get going then. This year's competition is the 21st edition of it. It's in France again for the second time in 3 years, and that is of course because last year in Armenia, Lissandro with Oh Maman won. A little bit of a surprising winner, but there we are. 16 nations are involved this time around, which is pretty much the average now. Estonia are debuting. Absolutely fantastic. Germany are back. but there's no place for Kazakhstan and Serbia. I really don't know what the situation with Kazakhstan is, because I know they've been trying for years to take part in the adult competition, and the EBU have just shut them down again and again, for reasons I'm not entirely clear about. I don't know what's happening there, but it is what it is. Serbia, I'm sure, will be back at some point, probably Kazakhstan as well. This is the first Junior Eurovision in which the so-called Big Five are all taking part at the same time, which is pretty cool. The artwork resembles street art, splashes of paint, chalk, powder and fireworks that apparently brings modernity and speaks to all generations, because you know you have 80-year-olds engaging in street art. Maybe in France, I don't know. Anyway, as of right now, we know one song, but over the next few weeks we will know all of them. It all happens very quickly, and not long before the actual competition takes place as well. So I can't really see too much information here. But what I will do is, once I've gone through the list of participants, I will tell you my favourite song to date from this year's competing nations. How about that? So, Albania. We will find out this evening. And as I'm recording this video, it's September the 22nd, which is a Friday. This evening we will find out the singer and the song for Albania. They are having a national final of sorts. I have no idea who's involved. Not a clue. I'm not even sure the songs have been released. It is a case of tune in tonight and see for yourselves. Albania have never won Junior Eurovision, but it would be cool if they did. Tirana 2024, here we come. And this is another thing about Junior Eurovision where I think it is particularly lacking. Perhaps particularly lacking. Because it's the same countries every year that seem to do well. Armenia, Spain, although maybe not so much recently, Poland, although maybe not so much recently, France, Georgia. You know, it's the same few countries that seem to do really well every year. Let's change it up. Let's have an Albania, Estonia, Germany, North Macedonia, Portugal top 5 this year. That would be pretty cool, but in all honesty, I'm expecting France to probably win it again, or Georgia, or Poland to win it again. As for Armenia, I don't really know what's happening there, but Armenia usually brings something pretty damn decent. Of course, we all remember Cami Cami. That was a real watershed moment for Junior Eurovision. And anything like that again, not exactly the same of course, but anything like that again would garner a lot of attention. As for Estonia, we do know the internally selected singer. It is Arhana Sandra Arma, who will fly the Estonian flag in Nice in November. The song has been co-written by Karl-Ander Reisman, who is very much a leading, I would say, songwriter in Estonia, and also Lilo Tungal, who is a poet and children's writer. What else does it say here about Estonia? Very little. So there we go. As for France, well, I'm sure they're having an internal selection. I have a sneaky feeling it's going to be another male singer, but don't quote me on that. I've just got a sneaky feeling, which could be terribly wrong. Of course, Barbara Pravi, second at the adult competition a few years ago. Twice, I believe it is, a Junior Eurovision winning co-songwriter. So she is France's lucky charm. She may be involved again. As for Georgia, well, it says here that 3 individuals are representing them. Yes, Anastasia Fasadze, Nikolos Karati, and Otto Bazarashvili. And they all came through the national selection Ranina, which starts so early on in the year, it's unbelievable. It's sort of like the junior version of The Voice, I guess. So Anastasia won it. Nikolos, I've absolutely no idea where he came from. And Otto, absolutely no idea. Did they just crop up out of nowhere? Not a clue. Nikolos and Otto were in the 2022 edition of Ranina. Okay. Personally, I would have gone with people from this year's edition, but there we are. It says here, for the first time since 2015, Georgia will not be represented by a soloist. But Georgia know what they're doing, which is interesting, because when it comes to the adult competition, less so. Germany, then, they're back. And like in the adult competition, they haven't been too great at the junior show. But it says here they're going to be represented by Fia, who is a young woman with the song Ohne Worte. And it's performed in German and American Sign Language. Now, I've heard this song, or certainly I've heard most of this song. And I think that's the case with a lot of other people as well. It's not a bad choice whatsoever. It feels quite safe and plain, but also fairly uplifting. There was a national final, there was an online vote along with a jury vote, and other unnamed members from France, Germany, Poland, Portugal and the UK. Fia is of Chinese descent. She won the jury vote and she won the online voting ahead of Rahel, Toby, Adriano and Lenny. So we wish her well. Ohne Worte is the German track, and I'm sure the whole thing, I'm not sure the whole song is out yet, but the whole thing certainly will be out soon. As for Ireland, well, their broadcaster for Junior Eurovision is TG4, which is the Irish language broadcaster, so obviously it will be a song in Irish once again. There are some guest judges, Brooke, Niamh Kavanagh and Ryan O'Shaughnessy. Singers include Gillian Brennan, Liza O'Neill, Claire Keeley, Jessica McKean, Ellen McLaughlin and Niamh Beatrix Smith so far. And out of those singers, Gillian Brennan has received the highest mark. She did a cover of a Jennifer Hudson song in Heat 1 on September the 3rd. So yeah, they have this whole national final format, and I really liked last year's Irish entry, Solas, and I'm hoping for more of the same this year. We'll find out the artist on October the 8th. As for Italy, no idea, but it will be before the end of this month. As for Malta, we know the singer. It is somebody called Yulan, and they performed a Christina Aguilera track in the national final on August the 12th. We also had Daylin Kassar Randic finish second and Dawn Desira finish third. Yulan had tried to represent Malta 3 times previously, was a finalist on The Voice Kids in Malta, and Malta's Got Talent. So we love a trier. Finally, this person's got their chance. The song will be revealed in due course. As for the Netherlands, well, I've heard the songs. We find out this weekend, tomorrow, September the 23rd, which song it's going to be. We have Duran with Magic, Flair with Side by Side, Joy with Better Together, and Sepen Yasmin with Holding On To You, which is probably going to win. It's written by Robert Dawn. This guy has written so many Junior Eurovision songs for the Netherlands, probably at least 2 or 3, I think. Don't quote me on that. Actually, it might well say here. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Matasugu Alne. Did he write that? No, but he did have a song in the 2021 national final. Oh, why is it doing that? That's really annoying. Oh, here we go. He wrote La Festa, so there's another one for you. He wrote Best Friends by Unity, there's another one for you. Didn't seem to be involved in 2019, so maybe he's a fairly recent individual involved here. Anyway, I'm going off on a massive tangent, but this guy, Robert Dawn, knows how to write a Junior Eurovision track for the Dutch. So Sepp and Yasmin, or Yasmin, probably the one that's going to win, and the songwriter doesn't surprise me. As for North Macedonia, it's going to be Tamara Grujeska. The song will be revealed in due course. Do we have any other information here? Of course we don't. As for Poland, now they are having a national selection. September the 24th for the singer and the song. Now I've heard clips of the singers in question. Which one is it? I think it's the first one here. Daria Malichka. If that's who I think it is, whoa boy, can they sing. That's who I'm going for here, which means it won't be them who wins. We also have Philip, Graziana, Leon, and Maya. One thing is for sure, it doesn't really matter who comes out on top, because Poland will probably do quite well. And this reminds me of a point that I made earlier on about where Junior Eurovision might still be lacking. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, it's the same few countries seemingly every year that do well, but also you can vote for your own country. BS. Absolute BS. Never liked it. Absolutely do think it has played a part in why some of the results have panned out the way they have. Never liked it. They should scrap it, but that's a story for another time. As for Portugal, they're represented by Julia Machado this time around. Fernando Daniel, who is a winner of The Voice Portugal, he's co-written the song. Do we know any more about Julia? I don't think so. Oh, she won the 4th season of The Voice Kids. So there we go. Spain. Now, it's also, before I move on to Spain, Portugal have fared quite well in the online vote over the past few years. So expect more of the same. Spain, the song is called Love You, or Love You, yes. Sandra Valero is the singer. Do we know anything else about this? It's probably going to be a pretty slick entry. 14th of September. The song. Well, the song's not out, so that's a load of rubbish. 3rd of October. There we go. 3rd of October for the Spanish track. Be on the lookout for that. Ukraine. The songs are out, or at least snippets of them are. There was a panel deciding the songs, including the lead singer of Goe, Jerry Heil, and Aliona. Yes, indeed. So the singers are Paulina Baby, Anastasia Dimid, Anastasia Bielibova, Denis Hrishchuk, and 3 beauties with Power of Love. I've heard snippets of these songs today, and I think Kvitka by Anastasia Dimid is probably the best choice. I don't mind Silna by the other Anastasia. I don't mind any of these songs, but none of them are really absolutely doing the business for me. But anyway, 1st of October for the national final. As for the UK, of course, we've heard nothing. And we probably won't hear anything until the BBC decide that actually they've awoken from their slumber and they're going to say to us, it's this person. That's when we'll know. That's when you'll know. Anyway, the show will be on... oh, that's interesting. It says CBBC here. It's not going to be on BBC One then. Oh, who cares? It's going to be on British television, which is fantastic, of course. And many countries decided that they wouldn't take part, even though they might have taken part in the past. Belgium, for example, Cyprus, Denmark. No Scandinavian country takes part in Junior Eurovision, which is a bit of a shame. I was really hopeful Iceland were going to debut this year, but you know, it is what it is. They're still next year, of course. Now, something I said I was going to do was tell you my favourite song from the competing nations this year. So, Albania, my favourite entry of theirs is 2021 Stand By You, Ana Jabrea, which finished 14th with 84 points. My favourite Armenian track is Kami Kami 2021, first place, 224 points. Absolutely. Armenia have never finished below 9th, which is very impressive. Estonia, obviously, we can overlook them because this year's their debut. France, it is Bim Bam Toi, 2019, 5th place, very good. And Carla, she's released songs since then, and they get loads of views online, so she could be a contender for the adult contest sooner rather than later. Georgia, oh man. Georgia have won 3 times, and I'm not a huge fan of any of those winners. My favourite Georgian track... God. 2021 was good. Last year was good. 2018 was good. One of those, probably, ladies and gentlemen. Germany... I have a feeling it's going to be this year's. But last year, or rather 2021, Pauline, that was very good too. Ireland last year, Solas, although I really love Banshee. It's Banshee, Anna Kearney. Oh yeah, that is a terrific song. 12th place, utterly disgraceful for that. Italy, it is my second favourite Junior Eurovision song to date, which is 2016 Fiamma Boccia, Cara Mamma Dear Mom, 3rd place, lovely ballad, fantastic stuff. Malta, I think it is Destiny with Not My Soul, the 2015 winner. Yes, I think so. Netherlands, it is Tess with Stupid 2005. That is my favourite Junior Eurovision song to date by anyone. Fantastic. North Macedonia, well, they haven't had a great time. It's Mila Moshkov with Fire, 6th place, 2019. She should be in the adult competition sooner rather than later. Poland, I think it is... I'm going to say it's probably Sarah James 2021 or Vicky Gabor 2019. Portugal, I'm going to say it is... Oh wow. 2018 Rita, 18th place, which is a bit of a shame. That's probably my favourite Portuguese entry to date. Spain, I think it's Marte, which was 2019 by Melanie. Yes, indeed, I think it's probably that one. Ukraine, I'm not a huge lover of their entries at all. Let's see here. We Are One in 2013, 2nd place, pretty good. Wow. Yeah, it probably is that one. And then the UK, it is Freya Sky last year with Lose My Head. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what a ramble. But that's really all there is to say about this year's Junior Eurovision Song Contest. I'm very interested to know if you care about it, whether you watch videos about it by other people, you know, recap videos and things like that. I'm interested to know because it's obviously aimed at children. I'm not a child. But it is still Eurovision related, so I feel like my interest should be higher than it actually is. I don't know, it's a strange one. Anyway, let me know what you think, and do let me know if you're enjoying the German track and who you think should win the Dutch selection and all of that business. I'm interested to know. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.